This was insane to witness as the Toronto Maple Leafs start their 2025-2026 season off with a bang. We have one player in particular that looks like a superstar all of a sudden. We're going to break that down. Everybody knows who I'm talking about. And of course, we got to talk about the Jays on this stream as well. I know that it's not the Leafs, but we got to talk about the Jays as well. Looks like they're going to the ALCS. We'll talk about it. But welcome back, everybody. A bunch of familiar faces. The home opener, the first game of the season, is in the books. And again, absolutely insane to witness what we saw from Morgan Rielly. Let's start with it. Morgan Rielly is back. Look what I said in the summer. Do not trade this guy. Maybe look at trading him, is what I actually said. But I said, maybe he's going to be back this year. Obviously, he took it to heart. There was a conversation with management. He is back. Again, it's one game, but he looks good. He looked good in this one. I loved it. Matthews looks good. I know he scored only the empty netter tonight. Nylander as well. Kind of drove me crazy tonight. Not going to lie, away from the puck. But really strong performance all around from the team. They're going to score less this year, guys. And Montreal's a good team. Credit where credit's due. Shout out to Habs Digest, Josh and Jesse over there. The Habs are a good team. They're a playoff team last year. They're going to be scoring less this year. But man, does this team look more solid. And yes, it was a little sloppy at times today. But for the first game of the year, based on what I've seen around the league, man, this team is going to be good. I cannot believe the projection saying that this team is going to miss the playoffs. I can't believe it. This team is electric. And speaking of electric teams, we got one up 5-1 over there in New York right now. Let's go Blue Jays. So how's everyone feeling tonight? Nice to see some familiar faces. Yarncroke scored as well. We're going to get into it. Let's bring up the box score. A lot of good stuff here tonight. Morgan Rielly, can't speak highly enough of him tonight. McMahon looked good. Simone Benoit, I thought, looked pretty good. The whole defense core, nobody really looked. Man, Jake McCabe and Chris Tanev, rock. Absolute rock back there. Love it. So, again, kind of a boring game, odd game as well, especially until the third period. The crowd got them into it with the Let's Go Blue Jays chants. But anyway, I wanted to point out 5 shots on goal. Last I checked, actually, it might be more. From Morgan Rielly tonight. And then he had 8 attempts, I believe 9 attempts, and then tucks it right under the bar on Montembeault right here in close. Love that. With Slavkovsky all over him. Slavkovsky, let's learn how to play defense, shall we? Tucks it right under the bar. Love this from Morgan Rielly. What's up, Jim? I know you're not calling in tonight. The Jays are on. I get it, guys. Okay? Bad timing. It's not, well, maybe not bad timing, but who's scheduled a home opener on the same day the Jays are playing, right? What are we doing here? But we are back. Maple Leafs hockey is back, and they look good. And this team's going to be better than last year, guys. This team is going to be better than last year. So we will get into that. Let's look at the impact score chart. Now, keep in mind, Chris Tanev and that defense pairing, technically the worst, I guess. I don't think anyone was really that bad. You can see very minimal negative impact for the entire team tonight. Love to see that. Morgan Rielly, by far and away the best player. Analytics, eye test, whatever you want to call it. Best player on the ice today. And Domi was shooting tonight. Yes, thank you, Gregory. Thank you. Domi, I was yelling at my TV for him to shoot when he was on that 2-on-1. And he did. And it looked like he was shooting every chance he got. Berube is rubbing off on these guys. I absolutely love it. Domi was shooting the puck. This is good news. Good news. Archie, I remember you from last year as well. Gregory, recognize you. Welcome everybody. And Crankbait, you've been here for forever at this point. Nice to see you back in here as well. Missing a couple people, but I get it. You might be watching the Blue Jays, right? And I do want to say now, I know everyone's locked on the Blue Jays right now, even if you haven't watched all season, right? Nick is not here tonight, obviously. He's going to be doing a post-game for the Blue Jays, a post-game video. So as soon as this stream is over, go check out Jays Digest. Nick is going to be over there. Super passionate about the Jays. He's been covering them all the time. So go check that out after this stream, after the Jays eventually, inevitably, make the ALCS, winning this game, Jays in 4. But nice to see everybody. Nice to see everybody in here. Oh, and Scorch Tape, going to be a great season. We got our first, yeah, pull it up here. We got our first super chat of the season with the new Captain Matthews. He's got the C on his jersey, ladies and gentlemen. We updated it. We heard the comments. It is updated. We got Captain Matthews up in here. Thank you very much, Scorch Tape. It is going to be a great season. And thank you for joining us here on Leafs Digest. We're going to have you covered every single game, every single post-game. We were doing it, every game last year was a lot of fun, and we remember a lot of you guys from the playoffs. Those were really, really fun streams. So excited to get going again. And Marshall, I remember you. I remember you from last year as well. Nyes was also fantastic tonight. He had that great breakaway chance, great save by Montembeault, I have to be honest. Really, really good stuff there from Montembeault. And Matthews, I thought, looked strong, both sides of the puck. I thought that first line was okay. I thought it was very interesting, too. Let's keep in mind, Michelli, not that he was bad tonight, but I'm going to pop this up again for you guys. Not that he was bad tonight, but he was replaced by Yarncroke, who did look pretty good tonight. And maybe there's a reason Brad Treliving's keeping this depth around. For now. We also have Sammy Blais. We're going to see what he looks like. They have 3 back-to-backs this month. So we got to see what some of these guys have in terms of, what they bring to the lineup. And they have the depth. Salary cap space is a foreign concept here right now for Leafs Nation. We don't know what to do with it. And they're filling in the rest of the roster, and they got a bunch of extras. And Easton Cowan's on the team right now. I wonder if we see him on, Saturday as well. That'll be interesting to keep an eye on. But, man, lots of positives. I also want to say Marner, I got to bring it up. Sorry, guys. But Marner also commanded the puck like Matthews, right? But Michelli, man, he's quick. The puck is on and off his stick quick. He is making plays. And I'm not saying that he's a 1-for-1 replacement, but he's got a point already tonight. A lot of people were telling me that this guy was going to get 10 points all year. Well, he has 1 point tonight. He's going to get 9 more for the rest of the season. I don't think so, right? He's going to put up some serious points here this year. So I'm really excited to watch him play. Puck is on and off his stick very quickly. Very excited to see what he's going to be able to do. But his vision, it's not just how quick it is. And let's go Blue Jays. Let's keep going. Let's go Leafs. Or go Leafs go. What am I talking about? What am I, Dwayne Johnson? The dude can pass. The dude can absolutely pass. You are correct, Crankbait. His vision is unbelievable. He's making passes where it's like, I can see the guy because I'm watching on TV and I have that luxury, but on the ice, like, you can tell, like, a lot of these guys, they didn't see that, whoever it was, Matthews or Nyes on whatever particular shift was wide open, makes a good play. There's a couple plays, even Nylander, great patience from Nylander, setting up Morgan Riley. What a very good game. But, fourth line also really good tonight. I would like to take this opportunity to apologize to Calle Yarncroke for everything I've said about you over the summer. I take it back. You are still a part of Leafs Nation. And Nick Robertson, I thought, had a pretty good game as well. He didn't score. That's what he's here for. But he had a pretty solid game. So let me know what you think about the third and the fourth line. We know what we have in the first 2 lines. I thought McMahon played well tonight. We keep talking about it. He's got to bring consistency, whatever that is. Scoring, checking, skating, whatever that is. Bring it, but bring it consistently. And I thought he did tonight, which was good. All 3 periods. So we know what we have in the first 2 lines. What did everyone think of the bottom 6? Because I want to dive into that now because I have some thoughts, especially about the fourth line and some players in particular. Dakota Joshua, not very noticeable tonight. That's okay. That's going to happen some nights, right? You're bringing guys like this in to make an impact physically on the game and when it matters in the playoffs. So that's fine. It's not going to be that guy every night. Gregory, I would agree with you. Waugh, way bigger than I thought he was when he's up against, the Canadiens specifically tonight, and even with his line mates. That fourth line was great. Yarncroke had a great game. He was skating very well. But, man, you can see the plays that these big boys are making, like Waugh, like even Lorentz. Like, they're making strong plays. They're getting the puck in deep. They're putting the puck in good areas, right? They're making, and again, every line has its moments that, a couple lines were getting pinned tonight. Nicolas Waugh is going to be a big part of this team, especially when they're healthy, when Scotty Lawton comes back, which I love. That's what we're calling him now. I don't know how that, came up randomly today, Scotty Lots. But he, once he comes back, in a perfect world, if they're completely healthy, he moves up to the third line. This is going to be a dangerous team, guys. This is going to be, I cannot believe people think this team will miss the playoffs or be worse than last year. This is going to be a very dangerous team. They look locked. And the other thing, I want to bring this up. For those of you who watched the pregame ceremony, I got this feeling. First of all, the music sucked. I got a bunch of texts. I was talking about it with a bunch of people. Change the music. Let's get some Metallica going or something like that. Just change the music. But the one thing I noticed, they're coming through the tunnel. They're introducing the players. Fans are going crazy for certain players, right? This team, to me, Looks like they're going to be harder to play against. They're going to be deeper, all of these things. They're actually likable to me this year. Like, these guys are coming out of the tunnel, and I'm like, let's go. I'm fired up. Like, last year, I was like, here we go again. Same group, same story. Let's try and get over the hump. Let's see if it actually works this time. This year, they're skating through the tunnel. I'm like, I feel like there's a bit of a different mentality. They're bigger. Some guys, like Nylander, Matthews, they're going to get their goals. They're going to get their points. I'm sure Matthews, in the back of his head wants to get 70 goals again. He wants these, accolades, all of these things. But they're going to score less, but they're going to win games. You know what I mean? Like, they might win a lot of games 3-2. They might win a lot of games 4-3, stuff like that, 2-1. They just seem more solid, like a more cohesive unit. And I know it's one game and I'm ranting about this, but over the course of the last 365 days, they've slowly been working towards that. And then you come into tonight, they have the same defense core. They're on a mission for the Stanley Cup. It feels pretty good. So should be a very fun season. I think they're going to be good. They're going to win a lot of games soundly, I think. And the goaltending looks great. They look like a cohesive unit. I love it. I love it. Pretty sloppy at times tonight. It's game 1 of the season. If you watch last night's game in New York, man, the Leafs look good. They look good. So, or most of the games last night. There's some sloppy plays. So, they look good. I think they'll take the Tampa's going to be back in the mix as well, but I think they're going to, definitely challenge for the Atlantic Division. It should be good. So, what did everyone think? I want to throw it out there and shout out to all of you in the chat, participating in the chat, watching. Appreciate all of you. And I know it's the first game of the year and the Jays are on. I can appreciate that. But what did everyone think of? Let's start with the special teams. Let's get into special teams. And I'll pop up again the impact score chart for you guys here so you can just take a look. Actually, I'll make it bigger for you guys. So, what did everyone think of special teams? Power play. Let's start with power play. Sucked. Awful. Zone entries on the first one. Awful. And I'll get to the comments in a second. But best game of Yard Croak's life. I don't know about that. He's been to a Stanley Cup final. But with Nashville in 2017. Power play, awful. Zone entries, Nylander floating pizzas through the middle. What are we doing, right? And it leads to Kapanen's first NHL goal. Awful. They reeled it in a little bit. They got him more under control. They didn't really get too much going. The rest of the night, honestly, they have to look dangerous on the power play. When you have that many, offensively minded guys, that potent offense, you got Tavares, you got Nyes, you got Matthews still. Riley should be better this year. I'm banking on that. Power play was awful. What's up, Prophet? Nice to see you as well. And Hurt Locker. Remember all you guys from last year. Yeah, power play needs some work. Let's get to work here. Penalty kill looks good. Looks very good. Guys are blocking shots. Stolarz is doing his thing. Guys are getting in the lane. There was one kill in particular. They went all 2 minutes without a change. They did not clear the zone. Montreal's moving the puck around. They were in the lanes. They didn't let Montreal even take a shot or float anything at the net. And then they forced Lane Hudson to stick handle his way into losing the puck out of the zone. I thought the penalty kill looked good. They look more aggressive. They're getting in lanes, blocking shots. Guys are eating pucks. Matthews going down. This is game 1 of the season. You're telling me this team isn't different? Matthews is going down and blocking shots. They just know what it is. You cannot win. We had to go through so much to get to this point. I think this team is going to be dangerous this year. You can't win with a young team. These guys are starting. You can see them turning the corner, some of them. This is how you win. Nylander, I thought he was good with puck possession as well, in terms of shielding the puck with his body. So that was some good stuff. Power play, they miss Marner to a degree. Marner's a great player, right? And he was the quarterback for the power play. Can't take that away from him, right? He's a great player. I'm not going to dump on him, anything like that for this scenario specifically. But anyway, power play needs some TLC, that's for sure, heading into next game. And the penalty kill, I like what I saw so far. Again, one game, and Montreal has some good players that are on their power play, right? So I like what I saw so far through one game. So felt like a playoff game right out of the gate. To a degree, really slowed down in the second period. Like, the game got really boring very quickly. Shocked. The only reason the game kind of peaked up in the third period is because the crowd got into it because of the Jays on the Jumbotron. They're chanting, "Let's go Blue Jays," who are up 5-1 right now. Up 5-1 on the New York Yankees. Looks like they're going to the ALCS if they can hold on here. I hope. I know everyone's watching that. And a bunch of you in here talking Leafs with me, so I appreciate that. But on the power play, yeah, definitely. I mean, Mitch is a great player, put up 100 points last year, right? You're going to find those points somewhere else, and maybe you don't need all of those points, as a team. But, yeah, you can't deny that, right? The offensive output, you can't. It's gone. So, best game I've seen Riley play in quite a while. Yeah, 100%. Not only offensively, which was obvious, with the snipe under the bar, but defensively as well. I thought he looked pretty good. So, in terms of, I wanted to pull this up as well. Yeah, he had 5 shots on goal. I saw that he also played over 20 minutes, just over 20 minutes. So pretty good for that as well. Because, he was eating a lot of time on, not eating, but he was playing special team minutes. And Carlo played far less than him. Benoit even less than that. 5 shots on goal, 8 shot attempts, like just rifling them tonight. Love that. Also love it because I'm going to stand by what I've been saying through the summer where it's like, hey, listen, they're probably not trading him. He has to get better. And the answer is in the room. The answer is in the room. I took him on my fantasy team and he was my best player tonight. Thank you, Morgan. Thank you. I appreciate that. But I like Michelli. This is from Trevor. Good vision and the defensive dynamic. See his back checks. I noticed a couple times, a lot of people are saying he's a small, soft player who doesn't back check. Not true. Not true tonight. Throwing hits, bailed out of a couple, but I get it. It's not playoffs, whatever. Threw some hits. There was a couple times where Montreal's going 3-on-2 the other way. He's back there. He was the one back. He came back, made it 3-on-3, covered his man. Technically not his. Should be Matthews. But I like Michelli. I think he's going to do some damage this year. They took him off. We'll get to Cowan in a second. We will get to Cowan in a second. They took him off the line there, the first line. Lost my train of thought for a second. Took him off the first line there at the end of the game. But Calle Yarncroke was playing so well that I think he deserved that spot, right? And I think Berube is not afraid to make decisions like that sometimes, and I appreciate that. So just going to check here, see if we get any quotes from any of the Maple Leafs or Craig Berube. Also, the Boston Bruins, ladies and gentlemen, might be a problem in the Atlantic Division this year. All of a sudden, most career games with at least 1 goal and 2 assists in Maple Leafs history. Daryl Sittler, 37. Mitch Marner, 36. Matt Sundin, 32. All the way down the list at 21. William Nylander via tonight's 1 goal, 2 assists versus Montreal. That is from Stat Center, Sports Center. Appreciate that. No quotes yet from the guys, but let's get back to the chat. Michelli's very fast, slippery. Michelli and Matthews bond very well. Matthews needs that playmaker, right? And I like Michelli, man. He's quick. Puck is on and off his stick very quickly. I like him. If he continues to do that, he's going to find success on this team very quickly. And if he buys into the style, which tonight he did, like he's back checking, he was throwing some hits. Man, they just have to, give them 10 games to really get up to speed. This team will be dangerous. I'm really, really excited. Cowan. Okay, let's get to Cowan. Ladies and gentlemen, does Cowan play the next game? He's going to get into a game here. Like, there's no reason. So if he doesn't, here's the thing. If he doesn't play Saturday, and I think there's a reason he didn't play tonight, and I'll get to that in a second as well. If he doesn't play Saturday, he will not play a game. And he's going to go down to the Marlies, and unless there's an injury, we won't see him for a while. And that's okay. He's going to get his touches. He's going to play top 6 in the Marlies. Should be playing top line at the Marlies. He's probably going to rip it up there, learn the pro game, stuff like that, because it is a little bit more physical, a little bit faster, stuff like that. Still a gap between that and the NHL. But if he doesn't play Saturday, he's not playing. He's going back to the Marlies. The reason he's up right now is because the Marlies season doesn't start yet. They want him around the big club, to be around the guys, to get into morning skates, to get into practices with those guys, get that experience, and then take it back to the AHL. So if he doesn't play Saturday, I don't think he's going to play. We'll see, though, because they've been doing a lot of weird cap shenanigans, stuff like that. Guys up and down. Quillen was on the final roster. He's not on the roster now. He was never going to be. He's a great player, but, you have way too many guys. What are we talking about? So if he doesn't play Saturday, I don't think he's playing. And unless there's an injury somewhere down the road. So that's just my view on it. And the reason he didn't play tonight is because, for lack of a better term, I don't think Craig Berube wanted to do any babysitting. First game of the year. Montreal is ready to go. They were a playoff team last year. You have most of your lineup from last year, and you have a lot of guys that you trust. he trusts Nick Robertson to a degree. He doesn't necessarily know if Easton Cowan's going to make a bad decision if he gets too emotional in a game like this, right? I honestly think that's the reason Berube chose not to do that. First game of the year on home ice, something dumb can happen, right? So he left him out of the lineup. And I think it's a very different situation than what happened with like Spezza with Babcock and stuff like that. Very different. So don't think it's anything like that. But again, if he doesn't, I don't know if anyone has any different thoughts in the chat, but if he does not get into a game on Saturday, I think he's going back to the Marlies and we'll start the season with them. I think that's the only reason he's with the team right now is because the Marlies don't start and they don't like you want him around to get that experience with this team with practice and morning skate rather than with the Marlies. There's time for that. So we will see. We will see what happens. Hurt Locker saying Cowan in, Robertson out Saturday versus Detroit. I don't hate it. Why not? Try it. At this point, why not? I do wonder if Sammy Blais gets in one of these games coming up here soon. I do wonder about that. Team played well. Team played well tonight, though. I like Michelli. He got a couple points in preseason and a point tonight. He looked good in preseason. He looked good tonight in all areas of the game. So should be fun. We are still in the bottom of the 8th, I believe, for the Blue Jays. No, the people are Luke's just did something, or Lucas. I keep calling him Luke's because his name is spelled that way. But the Toronto Maple Leafs with a big, in case you missed it, 5-2 win over the Montreal Canadiens in the home opener, the first game of the season. Jarnkrok was fired up. He was saying, let's go, boys. Let's go, boys, after the goal. He was absolutely fired up. So we'll see what happens with Easton Cowan. I think it's a very interesting situation. I think it's a waste for him to be on the fourth line. I will say that. If he's going to be on the team and you're carrying him around, he's playing some games and some, and he's not playing at all. And when he is playing, he's on the fourth line. I think that's a waste. That's a waste. I don't think it'll be necessarily, it could be detrimental to his development at this point, but get him with the Marlies if he's not going to play. I think Treliving, I wonder if there's a bit of a disconnect on that specifically between Treliving and Craig Berube. It's interesting, but we will see. We will see what they do with him. Top of the 9th. So we have one more inning. Thank you. Appreciate that for keeping me updated here on the chat. This is going to be fun to look back on if the Jays, end up closing this out. And I was stressed out for no reason here, but appreciate all you guys for tuning in here to the channel. Is there anything with the team? Big win tonight. Big win. A lot of guys look good. Anything with the team that anybody doesn't like? I hate to bring it to the negativity, but is there anything with the team that people don't like this season? Lineup decisions, could be coaching decisions, certain players that they've acquired. Anything that anybody doesn't like. We can discuss that because Jarnkrok has the speed-killing penalties. Yep. They're keeping him around for that depth as well. We can see what one injury does to the team and the entire lineup. Domi's playing center again, right? So fourth line was very good. I agree. Lorentz has always been good. I love Steven Lorentz. Great signing. Great signing. And I have to say, a lot of people, I see comments. I see it online. Some people don't like Brad Treliving. In the 3 years that he's been here, I have to say, I've never looked at a move and gone, what are they doing? I have not done that in so long. I've looked at every move and gone, that makes a lot of sense, actually. Like, almost every move, I would go, that makes sense. Stolarz, you might look at that move at the time and go, he's a little bit unproven. But I remember on the channel, Nick and I were breaking it down when they signed him. We were like, this is one of the best goaltenders statistically in the entire league. This is a great move. So, I have to say, Treliving's done a good job building this team up, giving Craig Berube these pieces that I believe can win you a Stanley Cup. So I think they're going to be a better team, guys. Don't like transition plays. They were a little sloppy tonight. And again, great Grizzly, that's a great observation. But for us to microanalyze stuff like that in the first game of the season, we're in a good spot. As fans watching this team, we're in a really good spot. That's a luxury. If we have to be like, their transition play was bad, right? So, but that's a great observation. They were very sloppy tonight in a lot of areas. And a lot of I hate it when guys don't take their time with the puck and they're just throwing it out to center, take a second, make that pass, right? There was a lot of that tonight, and I think they're going to calm that stuff down, move it through the neutral zone quicker and cleaner. Tree improved this team every year since he got here and built that defense. Dubas could never do that. Yeah, I've literally, in 3 years since Kyle Dubas, and I think Dubas made some good moves as well. Full transparency. I think he did, but there was a lot of moves where I was scratching my head. Treliving, every single move he's made, I go, that makes sense. Every single one. He's built, and listen, like you're coming in, you're taking over a team that, and obviously under his regime, we've lost Mitch Marner, right? But like you're walking into a team that has young Matthew Nyes, that has, good pieces like Morgan Riley, an experienced NHL defenseman at this point, William Nylander, Austin Matthews, walking into that. But what do you build around them, right? And he's doing a really good job. Prophet says, Darius, do you think the Leafs should go all in on a top 6 forward at the deadline now that they know the big free agents are off the board? That's interesting. We're actually going to do a video on that as well because Jack Eichel just signed. Not that he was ever going to come to the Leafs, but Kyle Connor's gone. Like a lot of the guys that you can use this money on, and we're talking about like Connor McDavid, for example, next season they're gone. They're off the board. They re-signed, right? So now, and your plan should never be hope. You should never not make moves in hope of signing somebody. But now, yes, make that move. And they're going to accumulate more cap space as the season goes on towards the deadline. I don't know exactly. And they're moving a lot of things around, so it's going to change day to day. But by the time they get to the deadline, they're going to have a certain amount of cap. They can still make a move if they want to trade a guy that's, making $2 million, something like that. And obviously, Yarncroke's stock just went up big time tonight. But they can still make a move out money. And they can go out and, trade for somebody. And we're going to have another video on this. I keep teasing it. Over the course of the next couple of days, we're going to have a lot of videos about these, moves and things they could do. They are still looking at that. Brad Treliving still would like to upgrade this team, but he could not do that through the summer. He's going to have more flexibility to a degree in terms of you'll know what you have in certain players by January around the league, right? So it'll be interesting. Brian Rust is injured right now, but he's a guy that I think could fit in very nicely on the Leafs top 6 because of the type of player that he is, right? And what he does with Sidney Crosby. You can win with a guy like that, and he has that winning pedigree. He's won a Stanley Cup. So that's a guy I really like. A lot of people are talking about, same team, Rickard Rakell. To me, Rakell had the best season he's ever had last year. Does he replicate that? I don't know. He spent some time playing with Sidney Crosby. He doesn't have that winning pedigree. What does he look like in the playoffs? We don't know. We know what we have in Brian Rust. That could be an interesting option. But maybe somebody else emerges, right? And maybe Brad Treliving near the deadline does like a Brandon Carlo 2.0 where you're like, I didn't even see it coming. This makes perfect sense. You have him long-term now. Not long-term, but you have, him signed for a couple of years. Makes perfect sense. So I wonder about that. We're headed to the bottom of the 9th, ladies and gentlemen. The Jays are up 5-1. Looks like they're headed to the ALCS. Should be a lot of fun. But ladies and gentlemen, I will let you. We're here at 30 minutes now. Toronto Maple Leafs, big win, 5-2. Dominant. I wouldn't say dominant, but big win over the Montreal Canadiens to start the season. I'll let you guys go watch the bottom of the 9th because I also want to go watch the bottom of the 9th. The Blue Jays may be headed to the ALCS here. Very exciting. Toronto Maple Leafs look good. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. And a reminder for those of you who are here right now, if you're into the Blue Jays, you're following the Blue Jays, Nick will be doing a post-game video on the Jays game on Jays Digest. Go check that out right after the stream, right after the game wraps up. Jays Fever is taking over Toronto. And not only that, Toronto Maple Leafs look like they have a very, very good team. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. We will see you tomorrow for some more videos. We're going to break down the game, of course. We're going to break down some of the moves they could be making. Interesting comments from Brad Treliving came out and some other interesting reports from a bunch of reporters. We're going to keep you up to date every day on the Toronto Maple Leafs here on the channel. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in, and we will see you tomorrow.
Victories of the bold, where legends are told. From first pop drop to the season's fall. Tune in and watch the drama unfold.